and we all love each other. We all want to spend time together.
Right.
But we don't agree, so let's just not talk, right? Like that is such a toxic place to be as a society.
Yeah.
And the thing that irks me the most about that is I don't know if it's by design or not. I don't know if we just have a bunch of idiots out there, and the internet has created this space where it's, these echo chambers, right? People can just spend time with people that think the same exact thing, and they can push everybody away and still feel whole. Or if it is by design, that there's this power like the World Economic Forum or something like that, who's orchestrating the whole damn thing. And that's what I would love to get to the root of in these things we talk about is all of this by design? And then if it is, what do we do about it? What do we do about it? Because they're going to try to shut us up if it is by design, right?
Yeah, and that's a question that I think is really hard to try to get to the root of, because I don't know that if if that's what's happening, at the same time there's been tremendous effort put into making sure that people don't come to that conclusion. So we've already seen this tremendous effort, if that's what's happening, to divide and conquer, or at least divide people and get people conflicting with one another. And if that part is by design and they know that that's effective, then they know that they have to also play defense as well as offense. And the defensive component of that is making sure that if people start to realize that this is their game, they need to have a way to dismiss that as a plausible explanation. And so that's actually, I think, the harder leap to make. The easier leap to make is like, people are effectively turning people against one another. Some organization, whether it's a three-letter group, or it's the deep state, or if it's the elites or whoever, not really sure who it is, but if someone is pulling the strings up there, they're doing it really well, but they're probably doing the defense even better because that's their last stand. And I sort of feel like that's why this year has been so particularly bizarre, is because they're so accustomed to playing offense and they're losing in the offensive battle. And knowing that if they lose in defense, they lose the game. I don't know if they're just throwing darts and hoping everything that they have as backup plans, something sticks or what. But this year just seems like it's one of those scenarios where it's like, okay, well, what do we got? We've got, come on, guys, give me some ideas. We've got the solar eclipse, right? We've got, and just all these
Drones.
false flags, right? Drones. So all these different things, and the problem is then it also confuses us, because those of us that are trying to figure it out sort of have our radar up for all these different scenarios, and it's like, is it this? Is it that? And I don't know if it is or not. But the good thing is that these questions are being asked, because the questions went unasked for way too long. And now that they're being asked, it's showing that this is probably, I think, to your point, this is something that's been going on for a while. This isn't just like a coincidence that people are getting turned on one another. I mean, it's crazy to have families who love each other isolate from one another over politics. That's madness.
Yeah.
To choose your political affiliation over your own blood is insane. And we shouldn't be there. But that's where we've arrived.
Is that a new phenomenon, or are we just getting old and crotchety? Was it?
No,
I don't know.
I think it is. I think it's different. I don't think it's new, but I think it's different because you've got, like, for example, my dad was sharing with me video from political campaigns and debates from 16, 20 years ago, and how he wishes we could get back to politics from back then. Like when McCain lost and he was telling the crowd to stop booing because there were so many people that supported McCain. And he's like, no, stop. Like, we need to accept this, right? And it
Hmm.
was this more like taking the high road type of approach in politics. Now, that said, our political system has been so fucking corrupt for well beyond those years. And so that was my question to my dad when he presented that. He's like, I wish that we could get back to those politics. I'm like, yeah, but that was just a charade too. Not that McCain specifically was. I'm not taking a side either way there. But I mean, think about George Bush, for example. I mean, he headed up the OSS, and then he was in charge of the CIA, and then he basically was given the presidency on a silver platter. It was determined before he even was elected. They were already talking about when he's president, not if, but when. And it's because this was all prearranged. So if that stuff was happening back in the, the 80s,
Hmm.
and now we're talking about getting back to the politics like the early 2000s, I think that the sheet was pulled over our heads for so long,
Hmm.
and we had this illusion of decency, and it didn't exist.
No, no, it didn't. I think since the founding, our country's been on a journey of just back to the same old empire that falls, right? I think it's you and I have talked about cycles, and I think we're just bound to fail eventually, right?
Hmm.
And I think it's up to us to hopefully save things, but um, yeah, I don't know how to do it.
This is how we do it, man. We have to talk about it, and we have to
And
talk with people that we don't agree with,
yeah,
and we need to bridge those gaps, because as those bridges keep getting burnt, that's how we lose the chance at winning this.